So we have this other guy, we call him Asian Cameraman Number 1. This guy's Sonny. He's always at the Sunnyvale gym over here.
Yeah.
He's always the one like running around taking pictures, taking the camera of everybody, the video, videoing everybody. And so he does a lot with the podcast, right? And so he comes in one day with this clapper, and I'm like, man, well, like you just made this, like, I just felt like the biggest nerd because I have the guy with the clapper in my living room doing a podcast. I'm like, okay, maybe we're taking this too serious. And then he says, no, it's because when you do this, I can sync the audio and video, and we can get the videos onto YouTube faster and stuff. So
okay,
it's actually a real thing. So that's like that intro talk. So it sounds like we already had the, you know what I'm saying, like before. Yep. So they just got a little bit of like free background information. This is Clint Cronin Show. I'm here with Yuri Simoes. Did I pronounce that right?
That's right. Yuri Simoes.
All right. That's your Nogi World's double gold champion this year, coming off of last weekend, man. You feeling good? You nice
feeling
and loose?
Awesome, man. Yeah.
So you still riding the high of this?
Yeah, man. I mean, it was a pretty big goal that I was able to accomplish. So I'm very grateful, for like my hard work and stuff. And I know that now it paid off,
For sure. So I was, watching the event, just sort of walking around, talking to different people, and I watched way too many jiu-jitsu matches. Thankfully, it's no-gi, so it's a little bit easier to watch a lot of these matches, even when it's not your friends. Because with gi tournaments, if it isn't your friends or your teammates or something like really compelling, like two really good guys, like where their styles match, it can be the most boring thing in the world.
Right.
But with no-gi, because there's not as much friction, I think, you see a little bit more wrestling. You see maybe more, transitions.
More speed, right, on the transitions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more exciting. It's more dynamic, I think. I like to watch no-gi, but I train more gi.
Yeah.
I think like the older you get and the longer you do jiu-jitsu, like gi, you can stay healthier longer.
Right.
Because like there's less separation.
You can find more positions to hold and control and slow the pace down a little more too, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. So what I noticed with this tournament, and I'm not sure how much experience people have going to these bigger IBJJF tournaments.
Yeah.
Like the Nogi Worlds is a 2-day event, right? So
Nogi it was 2 days, yeah, correct.
So you had your first qualifying matches on Saturday.
Yep.
Followed by Sunday were the main matches in your division, like the top of, semifinals, finals.
Yeah.
And then you had absolute altogether.
The absolute final. I mean, Sunday, you mean, or Saturday?
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday had the absolute final, and then, the semifinal my weight, and then the final my weight.
See, that's different because, like, with some of the smaller tournaments, you have to already, for sure, medal. Well, I guess they know who's going to medal because you are already into the semifinals.
Yeah, for the absolute, yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. So you register even ahead of the final matches.
Yeah, I mean that was my main goal, the absolute. I wanted to go for that one. The weight was more like, all right, if my body feels right the next day, I'll go for the weight as well. My girlfriend convinced me, last minute. Her and Kyle convinced me to just go and do it because I was just gonna rest and do the final, the absolute. But I'm glad I went there and I did my weight as well and ended up being perfect, double gold.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I watched the absolute match. It was very good, very compelling. You're watching to the very, very end, like, man, what's gonna happen? Your weight. I think I had to go and do something with my car. So like I have the video of your matches, I think, of your final match in your weight division. And when I came back, everybody was very happy. I'm like, no, I missed it. Because I'm trying to run and get some cable for the podcast. And when I came back, they told me, no, your match is already over, but we have the video. So I need to watch it now.
Yeah.
So
thanks for filming it, man.
Oh, for sure. So the result of your weight, you submitted the guy?
No, I beat him by 4 points. I think maybe 2 advantage or something like that.
Nice.
I got 2 takedowns, but it was already on the border of the ring, of the mat, and so I didn't get the points. I think one of them I should get the points, but whatever. I won. That was my goal to win. Submission points, whatever. in the end of the day, it's 10 minutes against another guy who knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
So, people say about submission, but like, I'm there working to finish him. If he gives me anything, I'm going to finish him. But mainly, I'm going there to win, because, some people, they lose and then they leave the mat and like, oh, yeah, I was trying to look for the submission. And so what? At least try to win first. You got the positions and you can go, to try to tap the guy out. Otherwise, you like make that excuse all the time,
Yeah, I think with gi or no gi, it's the same thing. You have to know the rules of the game you're playing.
Absolutely.
Not everything is just go out there and just try to like deathmatch, like it's
correct.
If you're an EBI, like this sounds like a valid thing to say but people game EBI too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with an IBJJF, with the standard rules in the tournament, what a lot of guys will do is you're not supposed to deliberately sort of go near the foul area or the safety area is what they call it, but they'll still kind of defend towards there, even though they know they're probably going to get taken down once their feet touch there. If the takedown gets initiated from there, a lot of guys don't know, like you don't get points. And this changes, and I see it change, from match to match sometimes, and it's like, it's a little weird. I see inconsistency with the referee training.
Yeah. I mean, the rules are also very subjective. I feel like, it's sometimes really hard to tell. You see it, you look at the same mat, and then the same. Cut.
Turn off the heater. Sorry.
Oh, I noticed that,
Yeah, it's killing me. I'm like, no, don't put that up. The rules are subjective. I'm very sorry, man. That'll kill me.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah. So, let's keep going. I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah, I think like, especially the competition jiu-jitsu, like rules, not much of the submission on or super match, but more like the confederations. I think I'm not making a complaint, but it is what it is. I think the rules are pretty subjective, and sometimes you get 3 different referees and they're all very good, but they'll have a different point of view because there's so many little details and rules to it. And I think even with the video now they have on the finals and stuff, it's still hard to make the call, just because the way the rules are. And I think it makes harder for the athletes. We really have to work even harder because like you said, you can't just go there and deathmatch. You got to know how it works. You got to know the rules, because if someone wants to wear you down and play strategy on you, he would just hold what he has and like wait the time goes by and stuff. So yeah, it's very important to go hard, but it's very important to be aware of how it works, the rules, and have some idea of strategy, for sure, especially on that level.
I feel that. So I've taken the IBJJF rules course, like you have to as a black belt for this the certificate thing. I also took the one from BJJ Tour. It's the same rules, but it's Alvaro Mansour teaching it instead of. I feel bad to forget his name, but it's really
I don't
nice.
really know. I think like in IBJJF, each time they have someone else teaching the rules. I'm not sure either. It sounds bad.
No, definitely not Claudio. It's because IBJ over at it's the Alvaro Mansour. It's the son.
He used to be the main guy of IBJJF.
He still is, but he's like not the main guy. He's still like Alvaro at IBJJF.com. You can still contact him, but he's not like the main guy because he's more like Claudio France's side because they're separate organizations now. I mean, when it was just U.S. Open, American, whatever, I think it was one thing. But now that it's BJJ Tour, it's kind of a shaky middle ground because...
Is it Gabriel, the guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, very cool
Gabriel,
guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy. Cool. He does the slideshow and he does the rules, so it was easy to follow.
Yeah.
The older one that they do with Alvaro is like he's going through a piece of paper and it's so long. And when I went to the course, there was a couple guys asking so many questions. I'm like, man, you could have read it first.
Yeah.
But I feel like knowing this is a weapon. It's like this extra confidence you can have because you can kind of game these tournaments a little bit.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you know how advantages work, your strategy is going to be different. If you know how the scoring system works, like not just you get 3 points here, 2 points there, but you can kind of do this a little bit. So with EBI rules, for example, what a lot of people do, if there's money, if it's like actual EBI and you get paid for submission, you should submit the guy in 10 minutes. But if you know you're like the smaller bracket, like, you know, the rooster guys, the lightweight guys, there's so many guys in those divisions. If it's EBI rules at a tournament that is not like EBI and they're not paying you, a lot of guys are saying, why am I going to go and try and submit the guy in that first 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid anyway. But if I get really good at defending the back and get really good at attacking from the armbar position,
or getting out of it,
or escaping, if I just drill these 3 places, I can chill for 10 minutes and make it to the final.
And that's why, like, I brought up on the meet rule meeting before the EBI, because, you know, I wanted to go to make that money and to tap the guys on the 10 minutes. That was my goal. I wasn't just going there to win the EBI, which would be good too, but I wanted the money. And I was like, what if I'm the guy who pushed the pace for the 10 minutes and I go as hard as I can go, and the guy is just not doing absolutely anything of those 10 minutes of fight, waiting for the overtime, saving his energy and just kind of closing the gaps. Then I can finish the guy because he just closed up, waiting, and I'm spending more energy. And now all those 10 minutes of work, you know, I could make 100 points on IBJJF or like try 100 submissions on those 10 minutes. That won't count at all on the overtime. Now it's about who gets faster out of it or who taps. And then, I mean, it's good. I think if you go with the mindset to tap on the 10 minutes, it's great. But what if, you know, you deal with a guy that is just counting on that overtime? Then I think it's not jiu-jitsu, because nobody's going to take someone and put it in your back or in your arm. Like, you know, just like magic, you know, he has to earn that position. And, you know, that's just my point of view, though.
No, it's totally valid. And you see it. You see it in watching these tournaments. There's some guys where they're like, are they looking for the win? Or are they looking for the money? And the guys that are looking for both, like, this is an exciting match. Like, but if the guys aren't hungry, they have almost a better chance of winning, because their strategy is win no matter what, based on just the exploitation. I'm not saying even they're exploiting the rules. I'm saying they're writing them. You know, they're saying this is exactly the rules. And at some point, when you see that people are doing this, you have to adapt the rules. That's how the rules change over time. You know, when they start seeing, when people are like old school, like IBJJF tournaments, when like even footlocks were like still very taboo. You see, and then reaping becomes a thing, because once you have the straight ankle lock, you start, oh man, now we're having knee injuries because people are falling to the inside. Okay, well, the guy falls to the inside. Who does it, right? Who initiates that? And based on who initiates that, they have to make a decision, determination of intent. And you're talking intent in the middle of a fight, when you might, like, it might be, and you can have straight ankle locks from white belt. They don't have an intent. Yeah,
they're just going with the instinct, right?
Yeah, they're like, they don't remember their name and this stuff. They see this. They're in blind, like, panic mode, and they remember one time this guy showed them an ankle lock in a class, and they have 6 months of training, and they fall this way, that way. They don't know. It's a mess. They're holding their breath for 3 minutes already.
Yeah.
So how are you going to talk about intent? I'm a black belt. I'm finally comfortable competing on the mat, where I like it. I like the crowd. I like this whole thing. Like, that's not the problem. Like, so when you're talking about intent, it's like, and without 3 referees, how do you determine intent?
I agree.
I think we're going to see a lot of these rules. Like, I don't think 2016 to 2017 is going to be no changes. I think there's going to be changes. I think 2017, 2018, there'll be changes. Because once you start having like very subjective or rules that can maybe be interpreted different for different cases, like actual laws, right?
Yeah.
Like if somebody breaks a law and in the street, like by the police, and okay, well, this is the law. Like, there's a difference in a law and a regulation. In the military, there's regulations for sure. It's exactly this, and there's no how it applies to you. It applies to soldiers the same way for everything. But in case law, like, they write rules based on interpretation because of the evolution of the world, and each situation's a little bit different. When you make things like this in IBJJF or any of them, the other one, EBI rules, they have to change, because people are gonna game them.
Yep.
Like card counting, you can card count jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You need to be a great athlete. You need to have good skills, but if you know the rules, you have a definite advantage.
I agree with you.
And it's,
and like, you know, and then to solve that thing, oh, you got to go for the finish, no time limit, you know, go for the finish. You're not gonna be able to game that. You're gonna have to tap the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like in a match where, you know, you go for 10 minutes, the guy can just defend and then go for the overtime. That's not fair in terms of submission, because not everybody, like you said, will go there to just tap people out. They're gonna game it, and then you got to deal with that.
So what I'm hoping happens is, so right now what we have is the gi rules, basically, and IBJJF gi and nogi, right? Then we have EBI rules, and these are similar things, but they're different. There's very big differences in terms of like the structure of the rounds, and some things with leg locks and reaping and heel hooks, and, you know, is it submission only or not? I feel the original sort of rules, the original jiu-jitsu, what we do in class every day is submission only.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like holding up two fingers when you sweep somebody. They're going to look at you like, what is this guy? What do you do? What do you mean? Why are you saying we're just rolling, right?
Yeah.
But no, we're not. How many times do we actually go on the mat and break a sweat with our opponent or our partner when people are counting points? Like, not much, right? And I think most gyms don't even, most students don't even know the points until they compete.
Yeah. And even like after they compete many times, they still don't know the points, because like I said, there's so many little details that you just, even man, like I think I don't know all the rules and stuff. It's like sometimes like some things are so different that they change every year. It's hard to follow, you know, through it, like follow it up, you know, it's really hard. And I usually, like, I fight every tournament that I fight the next, if it's like a couple of years after IBJJF, I notice there's like, you know, a rule different. I'm like, oh, that used to not be like that before. Oh no, things change. You know, my friends say so. You just got to keep on like studying if they want to compete. I feel like every year.
Yeah, there was, what was it? One match that got like almost famous from Nogi Worlds, from the purple belts. Did you see this thing online with the lockdown sweep?
No.
I would have never known. I would have never known that this was a big deal, but there's always something where they, you know, Reddit.
Yeah.
Everybody, jiu-jitsu, there's so many people that do jiu-jitsu and go on Reddit now. And I wasn't on this thing at all, but then with the podcast, I'm like, I got to do Reddit now, because it's a thing.
Yeah.
And they even, if you're a black belt, they even want to verify it. They want to verify your lineage, and they want to see a picture with you with your belt and like holding your username, and it's funny. So I had to like get verified that I was really me. To have a Reddit account.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, because I just want to post, you know, hey guys, I'm doing this interview with Yuri. I'm doing this interview with whoever, jiu-jitsu because this is what I do. So I'm on there and I see IBJJF Nogi Worlds. I'm like, okay, let me see what it is. And it was just a purple belt match. The guy had lockdown from the bottom, the Eddie Bravo sort of half guard with the extension, right? The calf cut thing. And he sweeps the guy, like he just hooks the leg, sweeps it, and goes into, I think he calls it electric chair.
Yeah.
And the guy got hurt. So the referee stopped it, and then it became a DQ. And like, I'm not talking about the call, because I didn't see exactly where the guy's legs were. I wasn't right there. And the angle that I saw, I don't know that it was illegal or illegal, and I don't care. What I do know is the public ate the referee alive. Like they just went like a gang, just like saying every horrible thing about the referee. And I'm like, it's one of Kaio's black belts, and like I'm sure this guy is not trying to hurt anybody. Like I don't think he knows either guy. And man, they ate this guy alive. Like they said every horrible thing you can possibly say. I'm like, man, these guys are critical.
That's why I don't referee, man.
Hell no.
I don't want to deal with that part. For me, no money's worth that stress, that kind of stress, you know. And I wouldn't be able to like keep it cool with someone like calling names and stuff. So I just rather avoid it, you know.
Man, I've seen how people react to referees, just being around this in tournaments, just this whole last 12 years, and I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to hurt any parent or kid's feeling, because with the adults, if somebody comes to me, a coach or another adult, and says something to me, I'm going to be a professional, but I'm not going to take like abusive language or threats or something. So you don't want that. And I don't want it. I don't want somebody speaking to me like abusively, because I talk to people. I always try to make the people around me feel good.
Right.
Because if you're not going to be positive, then don't bother with the person. I think negativity is, there's too many things in the world that divide us. Like, look at the stupid election right now. Look in Brazil at the election every time. Like the protests, all this, everything on TV you see is about dividing people.
Yeah.
Between the people and the police, between the military and it's too much. So like, I try to go out of my way to just like find the positive stuff, and then just no thanks. Like, I don't need to engage in this situation. Like, I don't get in a lot of bar fights because I don't go to a lot of bars.
Yeah.
So it's real easy for me. But no, the refereeing, because I see that it doesn't matter male or female, that they say terrible stuff to Christina, terrible stuff.
Yeah.
Have you talked to her about her experience with this?
No, not really. But like, yeah, usually the people that referee, they have all kind of stories about like, fighting and stuff. Man, yeah, like I said, for me, no money is worth that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they do it because they really enjoy watching the fight and they enjoy doing it. And a lot of people are not saying that they just do it for the money either, but like, there's this part of it which is like, again, the rules are very subjective, and it's even harder for the referee to make the calls. And like, at the end of the day, we're all humans, and like, what if he does some mistake on like this very complex rule? Like, can't like put him in a like crucifix and torture this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, relax,
Oh, the passion of the referee.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible, man. I just I've been asked a few times, and I would think about it. It would be my academy. Like, we have one of our affiliates does we are the affiliate of the gym. They do the like Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu Grand Prix tournament. Just the in-house tournaments. Sponsored by Show Your Roll. It's a nice event. They're professional. They handle it very well. The space, the timing, it's usually on time. It's a good gym event, And they ask me almost every time if I want to referee, and I feel like I'm not helping my academy, but I don't want to, because it's a lot of kids. I know the parents, so it's even worse, because now, you know what I mean? I think it's just I know someone's going to be unhappy with at least some calls, and you're there. With the children. You're like, the first thing, you're supposed to make sure they're safe, they're protected, and there's those crazy parents out there where the kid's about to have the arm broken, but he doesn't tap because you know what I'm saying. And if they're even extended, the rules say I'm supposed to. That's it. You're supposed to call the match. It's not like adults. I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there seeing, like, being, maybe it's me. Like, I didn't make the call fast enough. A kid gets his arm broken. I don't want to be yelled at. I don't want to be in an argument with strangers or friends. Not at all. Like, I just don't want it. So I took the courses because I had to, and because I want to know the rules. But like, I'm not doing it. Just no thanks.
Yeah. I feel you on that one, bro.
So, what was the experience like? You did some of these like pretty cool pro tournaments lately. The Fight to Win Pro, this production, man, it felt like a UFC event. It was cool, huh?
It was pretty cool, man. Yeah, like I fought that one. I fought Burkut as well. I think that's great. I think that's what our sport needs. The professional fighters in jiu-jitsu, they still don't make enough, to live, and a lot of them work as hard as an NFL player, all of them, like we have injuries, we pass through the struggle, weight cut, all of that stuff. So, we work hard, and like there are a lot of people that they have exciting matches and stuff, and we need that to like show, what jiu-jitsu is for a lot of the people, and make it more like professional, so that, we can fight because we love, but we can also make some money with it, Do
you think the money right now is better in the United States or Brazil for jiu-jitsu?
I think here for sure.
For sure. Okay. So with Fight to Win Pro, I noticed this, what was this place? The Kazar Pavilion was the name of the place?
Yeah.
Man, they did a great job just
producing. They did an awesome job, yeah.
I was kind of sitting right in the front. One of my friends, I guess, was having his Fight to Win debut against Romulo Melo. So Chris Coldiron was doing it. So like, I'm not we're not in the same academy, but we've been friends since like white or blue belt or something.
Right.
So he's going against the. So of course I'm going to go and see the matches. And I think you were on the card and in the main event.
Yeah,
You're the main eventer against
Dean Lister.
Dean Lister, and Dean Lister's a legend in MMA and jiu-jitsu, but now you came out of that it's kind of unscathed. It seemed like he was trying to hold on for a very long time, but just the level, whether like technical was even like on par. I feel like maybe athleticism, and just you were like currently competing a lot. That once I sort of saw the weigh-in, I saw the thing, and it was like there was friction at the weigh-in, right? Are you guys cool, or was this just more?
No, I'm cool with Dean. You know, I respect him. Like I told him before, he was the one who started up with the talks. Like of course the people they organized, they wanted to heat it up, but I was the whole time respectful to the guy, and he said some things that bothered me in regards to our previous fight that I won, and he knew that it was not right what he was saying. He was just trying to get that momentum with the hype to try to like I don't know, like I guess bitch about that, and it pissed me off. But I think after our match, everything was cool between us. I respect him a lot. I think he did a lot for our sport, and he deserves respect. And yeah, that's it. To the next one.
Oh, exactly. And then EBI experience. How do those two match up? I mean, in terms of, EBI is this super popular thing right now because like Eddie's this cult figure in jiu-jitsu with 10th Planet and his connection with like Joe Rogan and Jean-Jacques Machado and UFC and the yoga and all the the cannabis stuff. Like he's like this very how do you want to say the word? It's like just like a cult figure in jiu-jitsu. So like when he gets EBI going, you see like it's on Fight Pass, right? So,
yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
I had this conversation with Eddie. I went to his academy in downtown LA, and he's very like charismatic instructor, man. He taught the class from like 8 o'clock until almost 11 p.m. And he just like, he gets very into it, very detailed, and just kind of goes off on certain positions, and he has a very unique way of teaching.
Right.
And he sat there and he talked to me for like 30 minutes. He's like, man, you got to be the leg lock guy. I'm like, I'm going to be he's very charismatic. So I'm going to be the leg lock guy. Okay. He's like, cause when we met at first, he's like, oh, you're friends with Kyle. I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, are you MMA guy too? I'm like, no, just jiu-jitsu. He goes, oh, cool. What belt are you? I'm like, black. He goes, oh man. Oh, your shape, you're flexible. Oh, you gotta be like the leg lock guy at your gym. And like, he just went off for me for like 20 minutes about how like leg locks, how that's where they need to go. It's like a deficiency for like all jiu-jitsu right now because of the way the rules have been.
Yeah.
And it's something I've been thinking about. Like if we have all of our friends and family and teammates that go to and attend gi jiu-jitsu events where there's limitations with the reaping and the heel hooks and the compression locks and the whatever. If there's limitations there, but the number of people that watch the events is basically our friends, our family, our teammates, our coaches, us, right? It's not really, the public doesn't come out as much as we'd hope, especially for you wind up seeing this in the pay.
Yeah.
But with EBI, let's say we watch UFC 205 tomorrow and there's just an insane submission, right?
Right.
Remember Demian Maia had a 20-something second submission recently?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, whoa. And right after that, there was a little advertisement on your screen. If you're using UFC Fight Pass, to click here because you can watch EBI. So if they keep doing that, you watch UFC, the people at home that are just fans, and they're super fans of MMA.
Some of them don't even like train and stuff, and that's the people we want to bring to watch jiu-jitsu and see what jiu-jitsu is about for sure.
Yeah, well, the money's in the casual fans. So if they're like, ooh, like the super fans and the casual fans, the ones that actually spend money on a monthly subscription for a UFC channel, if they go down to their corner and click EBI, oh, what's that? And they see it, and they have like, it's like very good production quality, and you see it, they're wearing similar clothing to the UFC guys, just wearing the rash guard also.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow. this looks more like what I'm used to watching on TV.
Yeah.
Not with the gi, because the gi looks like some, you know, it looks maybe like traditional martial arts. If people don't know what they're watching, it's like, oh, this is so different. It's slow. The rules, you know, so that means there's going to be potentially more people watching EBI rules, nogi jiu-jitsu. And it's like the people that are, if there's more people that watch that, eventually the rules in the entire industry go towards that, because otherwise more and more people are going to drop off. So
I agree with you.
So if you don't know as a practitioner what they're doing in EBI with those rules and with the leg locks, this is like for all the jiu-jitsu practitioners out there, people thinking about getting into it. It's like, I understand that different academies have different philosophy on what techniques are okay at what belt, but I feel personally as an instructor, as a practitioner, everybody has to know everything, at least how to defend it. Because if the industry moves towards more EBI, more nogi style, the guys that don't know the leg locks, don't know the counters, don't know the defense, they're going to be left behind. They're going to be getting killed in competition if rules do change. And right now people, they're not going to change. Don't say never. Yeah. Because if more people start watching EBI, as more subscribers get on this thing, on UFC Fight Pass.
That's an interesting point of view. I never thought like that, but it makes sense. Yeah. And I think, like, honestly, heel hooks and stuff like that, those submissions are forbidden. The only thing that makes it dangerous is the fact that people don't practice it.
It's education.
Yeah, like you get someone that goes to jiu-jitsu, if they're a white belt, the beginners, and you put them in an armbar, they're going to freak out just as much as like maybe a black belt that don't train heel hooks and he sees himself in that position because he's not there in like a lot. And the more you put yourself on this position, the more you see your limit, where you can go, how you can defend it. You know, I think like every lock, it can be dangerous. You know, you don't want to be with a broken arm, just like you don't want to be with a broken leg. So, but you train jiu-jitsu and you learn how to get out of the armbar because you've been there so much. You know, I think it's the same way with a heel hook, with a, you know, I would say, you know, neck crank, I don't know, because like depending how hard the person can go for it, you know, it can, you know, make someone life miserable forever. And, you know, sure. I don't know about that one, but I think all other submissions, I'm in favor of that, you know, like heel hooks, whatever. I wanted that to be in every tournament. I don't mind.
Yeah, everyone has legs. I think there are certain things, like you made good points, and talking about like anything that's life threatening, I think careful of the spine. I know the twister is a staple with 10 planet system, but come on. I mean, this is something you don't mess with. I've been stressing all week because I had to have some procedure done that involves the nerves in my neck, and I'm like, I'm trying to avoid it for a long time. And so if I can move my neck a little bit more, it's sore now because like, it wasn't something I was looking forward to. But anything with the spine, I think that you made a good point there. And then the little things, like don't grab fingers, like the eyes, don't grab somebody's balls or something. With the women, the same sort of thing, you know. But
don't do that, okay?
no oil check, you know.
No way. No.
The rest is that still okay in wrestling?
I don't know, dude. I hope not. I hope that's not okay or anything.
The third hook.
No.
Man, I remember. I think I saw somebody put like third hook jujitsu. Like somebody tried to make a shirt like that once. I never saw anybody wear it, but you know, like you ever go on the Facebook ads, you're just like going through Facebook, and all of a sudden you'll see like some random jujitsu shirt or something. Yeah. Like I remember somebody made third hook jujitsu one time, and man, that's some weird stuff. I'd probably wear it, but just as a joke, like once. Just because no one would get it, but you're really meaning to.
No. I hope they don't put that in the tournaments. I'm gonna stop competing.
You don't want that, no oil check, because they would. That's what they would get. They would the same grip you get, like the middle finger in the back of the armpit. They get that right in the tailbone, right?
That doesn't sound right.
Every once in a while, like I would roll with like an old school wrestler, and when they were trying to control the back, I'd feel like the hand come around, like they grab like right kind of your ass cheek, and I'm like, come on, I'm wearing a belt. Here, just take the fucking belt, grab the belt, hold it any way you want to, get your hand out of my ass. It's not okay. Did you wash your hand? I'd like you to wash your hand now. It's not okay. And so what's so I don't know that a lot of people know this, and if they do and they're wearing those smaller striking gloves and they're wearing board shorts, they might want to watch out because a certain nogi world champion's been doing a little bit of MMA, a little bit of striking there, a little bit of wrestling.
Yeah, man. That I've been working on it the last couple months. That's something I've always wanted to start at some point in my life. You know, since I started martial arts back when I watched Choke with Hickson Gracie.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, I think time has come. I feel in the best shape of my life, and I want to do it now. I don't want to have no regrets. Get older and then wish I would come back and do it. So now is the time. I'm putting a lot of sweat on that and the dedication, and we'll see, man. I'm just taking it day by day. I'm loving to learn, loving to feel like a white belt again. And I think that's it. That's what you need. Like you need to like what you're doing, and I'm really enjoying it. And we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes.
So you're a grappling champion, a gi and no gi, and you have wrestling. A lot of guys with a jiu-jitsu level that high don't have wrestling, which sounds crazy that a grappling world champion wouldn't be able to wrestle, but
Yeah.
you actually have wrestling. And now how are you liking the striking? How are you doing more boxing, more kind of Muay Thai, more kickboxing? Like
All of that, Coach Alex is helping me a lot. He's a great guy, and he's like helping me get comfortable in standing. When I go there, I try not to just appeal to the ground all the time because I do still train jiu-jitsu on a regular basis. I teach jiu-jitsu. So I try to stay in the uncomfortable zone as much as I can because that's what I want to master right now. And I want to be able to step on the octagon and, the ring, whatever, and not to, not feel like I'm uncomfortable any area that the fight goes. Just, the same mindset I have for jiu-jitsu. Some people, they train just the half guard and the 50-50. I train everything, top, bottom, takedowns, you name the guard, because I don't want to get there and feel myself lost on something, if it goes out of what I've planned. So I think, that's my goal right now. Just learn as much as I can, get comfortable on my feet and try to connect that to my game. And I'm doing it, man.
Nice. For me, I like to always look at what is the area that I am the worst at, because that's going to be the thing I'm the new best at.
Mm-hmm.
My pride is like, it works the opposite way. I'm not going to hide from something. I want to look at myself. I try to look at myself honestly, and I think that helps a lot of guys. And by going out there and being like, okay, I've done all this jiu-jitsu, I've done all this wrestling, and I know that I can use my my right hand to set up an ankle pick. Like a lot of guys, that's what it is. And once you get that reach out there, once you get them to step forward a little bit, boom, that's that takedown.
There you are, yeah.
But now you're playing on the ground again. There's going to be guys that are just way better wrestlers. So being able to be wherever you need to be to win that particular fight and to beat that style. So everybody's so good now, right? Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
You're having Olympic wrestlers come in. You're having world champion jiu-jitsu guys come in that can wrestle, which. Man, once once you get the striking dialed into that level, or like a good level, like I've seen you just shadow box and work, mitts and stuff. Like, man, I'm not looking forward to seeing your first opponent's medical bills, man. You're not a small guy, so are you looking at like light heavyweight or middleweight or?
Man, I'm really gonna try middleweight. I want to try to start at that, weight class. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little bit heavier than I should for middleweight, but I think I can make it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. I just can't wait to, I can't wait because I need to learn a lot still, but like, I'm just excited to, for the time to come and for me to step in and get it done.
I feel like between all of your coaches and where you're doing jiu-jitsu, where you mentioned Coach Alex, that he's worked with some champions, man. Like, you're in good hands.
No, yeah, for sure. I know that.
Just being in this area, right? Like, I feel that Northern California in general, is so rich in mixed martial arts. Like, I don't know of a better place to really be. I mean, I think between here and Albuquerque, the level is so high, but I think even more so here because the density, even if you aren't on someone's team, you're going to run into them in a local tournament. You're going to run it. Everybody has friends somewhere. So you can bounce around and people come through town for seminars and through tournaments. And we have so many big tournaments. And so it's good to be able to mix it up. 2 times absolute champion at Nogi World in a sea of monsters. How's the reception been so far? I mean, are you, how do you want to put this? Like, do you feel different after winning the second title? Like,
yeah, man, you know, it was some, like, especially now walking towards MMA, I feel like, yeah, I won worlds, you know, first, you know, before this weekend, I was thinking like, yeah, I won Division Absolute in a Nogi. I won 2 times Pan Ams, ADCC and stuff. That was great, but other people won that too. So it's, you know, thinking in a way of like make my name in history and like, because I dedicated so much time in jiu-jitsu. I do jiu-jitsu, you know, since I remember myself, and you know, it was great to like get a final stamp on that and like, you know, make history on something that I love so much. So I think that was the best part of it for me, you know, make history on something that is my passion.
It's very cool. It's something that has it even happened before? Is there a 2-time absolute champion in this?
In the Nogi, no, I'm the first one.
Wow. So you went from being kind of, for a while, the new guy in the division, like, and just took it by storm, and you've done something no one else has done. And like the names that have tried these are huge names. Like these are like the legends and, you know, Hall of Famers in the sport or in the art, however you want to call it. So this is very cool, man.
Thank you, Clint.
I feel like going into MMA, you'll have a lot of fanfare, and with these type of credentials, do you feel like the level of opponent, like do you have your eyes set on a particular promotion, or like, I mean, obviously like the UFC is the big one, but do you feel like with that much fanfare, it's going to be difficult to get opponents that are, you know, to step in the right way, to not do like the CM Punk thing, you know, for example? Yeah.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully they'll be able to, you know, build it up nicely. And I trust AKA that they're the ones like taking care of their party event and fight and stuff. My only concern right now is, like I told you, I just want to learn it. I want to feel comfortable. And when I do, then it won't really matter for me where I'm fighting, who I'm fighting. And that's my goal, you know. Like, if I'm doing it, I want to do it to be the best. And, you know, I'm just right now taking day by day and trying to focus on just my progress. And I'll leave that part for AKA to handle, like fights, events, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like the number of just solid training partners, even at your size over there, is going to make a huge difference.
Sure.
Do you have a main sparring partner so far?
No, man. Everybody there has been helping me so much. And, you know, I'm just really grateful to be in that Shark Tank there, you know.
Man, even the smaller guys. We had a chance to talk to Andre Fialho, the Portuguese guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the manliest 23 or 24-year-old guy in the world. Did you know he's this young?
No.
23 years old. Because his hairline is like here. When he talks, he's very certain, very matter of fact. He's very respectful. He's a very mature guy. He's 23 years old. I couldn't believe it when he told me, because this is halfway through. We were just talking about age, and he's very young. You're kidding.
Yeah.
Because I guess whenever we had him on the show and we were talking, and you know, after we posted everything, his mom, like, I get an ad on Facebook and Instagram from someone Fialho, and his mom is like his biggest fan, man. His family loves him, so she likes everything he does. She shares everything he does. I'm like, yeah, this is the Portuguese mom for sure. Like,
yeah.
So it's very cool. He's like the star from like his town in I guess in Portugal in general now. I don't know of anybody else that's this level over there.
Yeah, Andre is a beast for sure.
Yeah,
I have the honor to train with him there, and I can see how focused and determined he is to like make, you know, his name on that, and he's sure he's doing it so far.
It looks like he hits really hard. So you've definitely got a great set of partners over there. there's a lot of great guys, even coming out of the Sunnyvale side now too. And Anthony's fighting. What was it, next weekend or something?
Oh, really? Anthony fight next week? I don't know.
I know he had a press conference yesterday. It's very soon though. He's fighting.
I believe, pushed out to January.
It's the first Filipino MMA promotion, or the biggest one. So they're doing an event here. And so, you know, his last fight was in Japan. So they're trying, maybe they're doing more like the Asia market type thing now. Because I think the size of the guys, right? They don't have this division UFC for the males. So I think that's where they're going with it. And I was talking to him. He's a very quiet guy. And it's the way I see a lot of this, like the Conor McGregor, the Ronda Rousey, even going back to Chael Sonnen, like, I feel like there's two main questions that every mixed martial artist has to ask. Because you said the key word earlier, like if you're not trying to be the best, like why?
Yeah.
Because the job is getting, like, it's getting punched in the face or not getting punched in the face. Like this is the question, right? So I feel like with mixed martial arts in any sport where there's cameras on you, it's show business. So the two things that you have to ask yourself for any fight is, one, why are they fighting? Why is this person fighting that person? And why should fans pay to see it? Like, what's the story? And it's show business. And I know it's show business because if it wasn't, they get paid $20 an hour to do it outside and you'd never know the answer. You'd never know. It would just be between you and the other guy with a referee watching, and they just write it down. You'd move along. You'd get your check. You get paid the same. I know it's show business because you get paid more if more people watch it.
Yeah.
And right now the money goes, the majority, obviously, in jiu-jitsu and MMA. And it's not, people want to say, you know, you have Dana White as an evil guy and all this sort of thing because of the fighter pay. Maybe. Or, and this is very subjective and it's an opinion, but when you have guys that like Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey, and starting with Chael Sonnen, going all the way back to Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, the biggest stars. The difference were if I wanted to ask the question, why are they fighting and why should I pay to see it? It's very clear. There's almost like a campaign, right? So it's show business. I feel like the guys that have the skills, but they're able to answer those questions and they're forward with it. They're putting having like maybe a guy that does this part, like a PR thing, and like they learn how to talk a little bit and get out in front of the camera. Like you just said before with like Dean Lister trying to like put a little bit of stank on it, you know, put a little bit of intrigue. Like here, we're going to talk a little bit, you know, everything's all good. We're professionals. We're not talking about moms or anything, but we got to build a little tension because there were people talking about it, like, hey, man, do you think these guys are going to fight? Like in the crowd, everybody's like, did you see the weigh-in? They were talking about you guys. So like, it was working. Yeah. And this is a jiu-jitsu event. People actually gave a shit about a jiu-jitsu event. That place was full.
Yeah.
There was as many people there as, man, I've been to that same building for so many different things. MMA. I used to work in like pro wrestling, like Luther Marmalada. Really? Yeah. I used to, and man, we had like Ric Flair, like the biggest guys were there. We didn't have that many people. So
that's cool.
And then you go there for jiu-jitsu, and that's the biggest crowd I've seen for that. It was jiu-jitsu. They were smart, you know, having the athletes kind of like go to their gym with their family, you know, sell tickets and stuff. But there were people that weren't. They were out in those main ones. Those are just the tables, like around the ring or whatever you want to call it, the mat tatami. Mm-hmm. The seats, those are just people. So they were doing something right. They're like, how do we produce this? Oh, well, how do we make it interesting? You know, we put these names in and we build intrigue, and they're like grudge matches and like they're fights people want to see. But they put a little bit of work into like, why are they fighting? And why should I pay to see it? And like that goes back to early days of pro wrestling. The UFC is like the most successful pro wrestling promotion in the world right now, not WWE. Yeah. Because if it's real or fake in the middle of the ring, this is down to talent relations. That doesn't matter. There's a square right here, and you're trying to tell a story, and you're trying to get people to pay and see it. And the guys that are making real money are answering two questions. Why are they there, and why should I pay to see it? That's it. Like, why are they fighting? Why should I pay to see it? So you got the guys with the biggest mouth. Is Conor McGregor the greatest thing ever? Is he the Irish Jesus? Maybe. Or he's really good at answering those questions, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, like, talking, it's a big part of it for sure. And it's growing now, like, you know, talking about many $1 million per fight, millions of dollars per fight. And I think, you got to learn how to talk and stuff. That's not really, I'm not going to lie, that's not the part that attracts the most on it.
No.
But I do acknowledge the importance of talking and stuff. And for me, I see more from the martial art point of view and stuff. Of course, I'm doing it for the money as well, but I'm trying to keep that, like lineage and like trying to keep the, how can I say, I started like with it very young with a martial art idea. So I'm trying to keep that going. And, like that's the reason why I started doing it in the first place. That was what made me, from a kid, looking Hickson Grace, the samurai spirit and stuff like that. And I think, that's what drove me up to here. And, maybe I'll learn how to talk and stuff. My concern is just learn how to like knock people out and tap them out. And for me, that's, what I want to focus on right now.
Well, you got the guys sort of surrounding you, like this team. They've done a really good job of like not just training their fighters, but getting them out into the fights that matter. So like with Alex, with Hav, with these guys, like you have that piece. Like they're gonna work with promoters, like they'll do that stuff. But having this purity, like wanting to do it for the right reasons, like just I saw choke. It made me want to learn gymnastica natural. That's like, I'm like is flexible. I have flexibility at all because of this, not because I went to some Bikram yoga class, but because, oh man, this guy does this breath work. Like he, how he gets his whole abdomen in, you see the rib cage, like he's able to do this cool stuff and he's able to do all this gymnastics. He's able to do all this yoga. I saw this guy and I'm like, man, this guy's like Bruce Lee or something, or like, or better. I'm probably going to piss people off. Like I think Hickson's amazing. You can see how well Kron Gracie's doing, and like he does like the very fundamental jiu-jitsu, the purest jiu-jitsu. Yeah, but it works, and it's working in MMA too. It's working in jiu-jitsu. It's because he's fighting in Ryzen now.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, he was on the card with like was that like Vanderlei was there, Krokop is there, and Kron Gracie has the ice cream cone.
Yeah.
So it's cool you're out there for the right reasons.
Thank you, Clint.
But in the back of your mind, wouldn't it be nice to get paid for all that shit?
Absolutely.
The first time.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm not going to talk, right? I'm not saying it. I can talk, but I'm just saying what attracts me the most on it, it's not the talking part.
Oh, for sure.
And, I'm just being real with it. But yeah, for sure. And I think so too, man. Like, I'm always the type of guy that I don't start anything, but like someone started like trying to tease me and piss me off, and then it changes up. So I'm not gonna talk until someone talks to me. But yeah, like I said, my focus is just going out there and trying to finish people. That's it.
Well, like for example, remember in Pride, Vanderlei Silva, he didn't say that much.
Yeah,
he just stared at you. And then he just ate you. Yeah. he went to Japan and he was Godzilla. He was Brazilian Godzilla. Like he was until Mark Hunt sat on his face, until they put him against like the ultra heavyweight guys, you didn't see him lose. I mean, the fights with Rampage, the fights with Sakuraba, he didn't say much. He didn't have to. We weren't sure we had no idea. He went out there and he was like a horror movie.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you.
Remember the Fighting for Pride Vanderlei Silva special they did?
Which one was it?
They did a DVD, but they made it like a pay TV thing also. They had it on like Kombachi. Like I saw it there when I was in Brazil one time. It was Fighting for Pride, Vanderlei Silva. It has like the legend, like the subtitles.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was showing a little bit about Vanderlei. It was just when he first had one of his children, showing him with his family. It was very nice, everything very humble. And then he gets this look in his eyes, like the eyebrow go down. You see like his forehead's here. He's like doing his ties, his wrist moves and all this stuff. And then it's just him beating the shit out of Japanese people for 2 hours. It's just clips of him just molly-whopping Japanese guys. They show him beat Sakuraba 3 times. They show him knee Rampage through the ropes twice. Every single time he just destroy people. And then in the first fight with Dan Henderson, it was every time. It was his like 6-year reign as middleweight champion. And he said 3 words. He didn't say anything. But when he went out there, it was like, oh. So you could still do this.
What was going to happen, right?
You could still say a lot without saying a lot.
Yeah.
But it's how they portray it, how they portray you. So it's like it's a funny thing. But I don't know. I took exception with a lot of people. They really didn't like Chael Sonnen at first, because first of all, he's fighting Anderson Silva, and you can't fight Anderson Silva and expect to be cheered. It's like who's this? The guy who fought Michael Bisping, Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
They were cheering for Dan Henderson literally in Michael Bisping's hometown.
Yeah.
That's not about Michael Bisping's likability. That's that everyone loves him. Everybody loves this other Captain America guy.
Yeah.
You know, Randy Couture.
Oh, Randy Couture. Yeah.
They love these guys. They're like beloved. So you get matched up against one of them. You're like, shit, I'm not going to be popular guy in this fight. But yeah, you can say a lot.
I'm sure he was too happy with the money he made on there, right?
Man, I hope so. Some of these fights, they're just wars, and you just hope they get paid so well.
Yeah.
What was the one with Dan Henderson against Shogun? Shogun, the first one in San Jose. Man, it was a bloodbath.
Yeah, that was a battle for sure.
That's what I'm saying. When I see this, and I appreciate all of the aspects of it, the technicality. I appreciate what they're doing, the sacrifice. Like I have so many of my friends are pro fighters. I've been around martial arts since I'm 5 years old, man. So I appreciate all of it and all of the hard work and dedication. I want all of them to be millionaires, and then I see that it's not true. So I'm hoping like now 2016, you have like a bigger company that owns the UFC. You have jiu-jitsu being shown on UFC Fight Pass. You have all these other Japanese promotions and the one in Russia. Like you have all these promotions popping up. I'm just hoping the fighters get paid what they should be, because they're the product. Like Dana White isn't the product. And I'm not trying to say it because I don't understand how business works, because I very much do. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, the UFC isn't about Dana White. The UFC is about the UFC. It's about the mixed martial arts. It's about jiu-jitsu. It's about the kickboxing. It's about wrestling. It's about the transitions. It's about the work. It's about the people. So I hope that translates into prosperity for the people that are risking their lives for entertainment.
I 100% agree with you. Yeah, it's got to be worth it, right? You're putting your life, in risk. So. Yep.
So, man, we killed almost an hour. I know you have to go, and it's really cool. So, one thing I want to hit before we take off, and this actually was really impressive to me, man. It was after you had already finished your absolute matches. You're out there, and the reason, if you hear Yuri's voice right now, he's modest, so he's not going to say this, but he was still coaching his Master 4 guy.
He was a Master 4, but he fought as a Master 2. He went 2 age categories under to be able to fight, and he fought heavier guys than him.
So this guy is he's a staple over at Kyle Terra Academy, and I don't even train at
Bruce
Kyle
Wayne.
Terra.
His name, he's the Batman, Bruce Wayne.
See, I don't even train at Kyo's, but I know about this guy from 2 towns away, and like everybody loves this guy. I walked by as I'm sort of making my rounds and filming and kind of talking to people at Nogi World, and I see Yuri screaming his head off, and I'm like, man, I guess Kyo is competing or something. Like one of these, one of the top guys. No, it's a blue belt who is like well into how old is he?
I'm not sure, but I think he's like 60 or close to that.
I was gonna say something like 50s. He's like a dad,
yeah,
right? He's an older guy, and I see he's going against like a guy that has much more hair, a much younger guy, and he's on the top, and the guy has his guard closed. He's up by like one advantage or 2 points or something, and he's in a 5 or 6 minute match, and Yuri's screaming his head off. Stand up, try again, like. So much energy. You can hear your voice cracking. I've seen you fighting the last 2 days. You had no reason to be there, but you're there for your team, man. So like, this is really admirable. And we're actually going to wind up cutting this short because it's is it Friday night? Friday night, 7 p.m. Instead of being at the club, Yuri's going to be teaching a jiu-jitsu class.
That's right.
And this is not like the elite team jiu-jitsu class. It's a jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah.
This is very cool. Like the day after Nogi Worlds, you were over at Fight the Stigma, Submit the Stigma, which is a great cause. I don't want to really get too in depth on it, but there was a member of the jiu-jitsu community and a member of the Kyle Terra Association passed away, and it's a very sad circumstance. But after Nogi Worlds, that was the biggest seminar for a room that size I've ever seen. Like,
it was pretty big.
You couldn't do the move. it was because I was paired up with Gumby, who's also over 6 feet tall. So when we were trying to do some of the sweeps, like we're landing on people are landing on us. So like we would do it like one time and then help the people around us kind of thing. But to see people come out and show this like unity and solidarity after all of the teams in that room were at each other's throat just 24 hours earlier at Nogi Worlds. These are people yelling against each other, fighting against each other one day earlier. A lot of them stayed in town the extra day to help out with the seminar.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that and to get everybody together for bigger cause, and I think we should do more stuff like that. We should use our power. I know jiu-jitsu is not as big as we wanted to, but I think we can do some noise if we all get together and good intentions never hurt anybody.
No, for sure. And the majority of people in that room weren't close personal friends of Shirley.
Yeah.
The majority of them were just part of the scene, and they were coming together for a cause that was bigger than themselves. And on a Monday night in the Bay Area, with the weather's not that great, everybody's tired from competing, everybody's has to go back to work, everybody neglected work stuff all weekend. Like for me, I'm on call, so to be able to like put work to the side a little bit for the weekends, and I know for other people it's even harder. A lot of people took off of work for this, so because it wasn't like late at night, it was 6 p.m. right?
Yeah.
And for Kaio to basically be coming right off of world championship victories, not even taking 5 minutes off, but to get on the mat, to host this and to teach at it, it's huge. It speaks volumes to the level of individuals and like to your character. So like even as a member of a totally different academy, man, like I appreciate it. And
thank you, Clint.
I know the other people there, and I'm sure the family does as well. It's submit the stigma. It's a really great cause. We talked to Aaron a little bit, and it's dealing with basically getting past the stigma surrounding like mental illness and depression and stuff. So people should check that out. It's really good stuff. I'm not trying to. I don't want to go off on a tangent too much here because it's actually choking me up a little bit. But we were talking before. I wanted to train. There's so many guys I would have loved to have rolled with afterwards, but after the presentation at the end, kind of the memorial, I had nothing. I was just I was trying not to cry in front of a bunch of strangers.
Yeah. It's pretty sad. Yeah, I'm glad we're done it though. Yeah, I'm glad we're done it.
Oh, for sure, man. So real quick, guys, you got any shout out sponsors? How can we find you online?
Gameness, thank you for your support. Everybody who believes in my jiu-jitsu, who supports me anyway, my family, my girlfriend, everybody, my team, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. And yeah.
Well, I really appreciate it. How can they find you online?
Instagram, Yuri Simoes, JJ, and my Facebook page, Yuri Simoes. Yeah, that's it. I'm not so much online, but I have those too. So
he's got the following on there. He's got all those likes and stuff. You got a good following on there. You're doing something right, man. Just
thank you, Clint.
Just keep beating people up and being nice to people, and when they're off the mat.
And
couldn't ask for more, man. I appreciate you. It's Clint Cronin Show. Yuri Simoes, first ever absolute 2-time champion at Nogi Worlds, and double gold this weekend. So thanks very much for coming on, brother.
Thank you.